The Leopold Conservation Award is presented by Sand County Foundation in partnership with the Colorado Cattlemen's Association, the Colorado Cattlemen's Agricultural Land Trust, and Encana Oil and Gas USA, Inc. Each year, the Sand County Foundation and its partners select 7 landowners from across the country who exemplify world-renowned conservationist Aldo Leopold's ethic for land stewardship and management. For their unwavering commitment, conservation, and love of the land, John and Carolyn Doherty are the 2009 recipients of the Colorado Leopold Conservation Award. The land John and Carolyn own and manage today is the same property his grandfather began acquiring after he immigrated to the U.S. from Ireland at the tender age of 16 in 1879. John is a third-generation rancher.
They said they don't know how my grandfather, Papa Joe, got here because he was 16 years old, and that was too young, and he was crippled. He was on crutches, so they didn't think that he got in here legally. They think that his 2 older brothers that were already here got him into the United States, but not through the regular channel. So he came in from Ireland when he was 16 and went to Tamora, New Mexico, and then, like I said, then he was a deputy sheriff there and a few things, and then he got into the mercantile business, and he's the one that put most of this together, and between my grandfather and then my father's inheritance, but my father died when I was young, and so my mom kept it together until I got out of college and could come back and help her. Well, we all help. All ranch kids help.
Today, the Mesa de Maya and Red Rocks ranches are still family operations, consisting of the 50,000 acres owned by John, Carolyn, their son Joe, and his wife Lisa. The family's land stewardship also extends to John and Carolyn's nephew Steve, who owns the Beatty Canyon Ranch with his wife Joy, hosting some 25,000 acres. That's a total of 75,000 acres within this remarkable family.
We actually nominated John and Carolyn and the Mesa de Maya Ranch. John and Carolyn because of their lifelong dedication to stewardship and education and involvement in the community, and the ranch overall because of the success they've had with it and how they've shared it with so many other individuals and organizations to forward land stewardship. John wouldn't expect and didn't expect a nomination, and we didn't even tell Aunt Carol when the idea came to mind. Oh, it was a surprise to him when they were nominated, and especially when they were the recipients of the Leopold Conservation Award.
The love and conservation of the land is deeply rooted within John Doherty. It was instilled in him by his mother, and it is something he proudly instills within his family.
Yeah, we love what we do.
You have to love working in the country or you wouldn't be doing it.
Carolyn was raised in the country and she loves it and I love it. Our land is everything to us, so it's a passion of ours to improve it and make it better. So at least my goal was to pass it on to my son and grandsons and my nieces and nephews.
In order to ensure John leaves the land in better condition than he found it, he builds upon conservation methods used by his mother and grandfather.
I think any rancher has to be somewhat of a conservationist if they want to stay in business over the long haul. They need to. They have to. When we got the ranch in '59, the water source was these canyons right through here. This Chilcoot Canyon and the Purgatory River and Clark and all of them, and they didn't have any water development out of way, so they really grubbed this land closer to the Chilcoot and the water source. So we came in and did some cross fencing and developed the water up the canyons, and now these flats that are close to the original water source, they're a lot better off. They're a lot better than they are. We have a lot more grass.
In addition to being a conservationist because of his commitment to land stewardship, John also realizes that understanding the science behind conservation and implementing sound methods can really pay off, and that they go hand in hand.
You'd have to understand how a grass plant functions, because what happens above the ground happens below the ground.
The Dohertys also partner with agencies and organizations to improve natural resource conditions on their land, like the Natural Resources Conservation Service. When asked about how NRCS programs have impacted their operation, the Dohertys responded,
Tremendous. You know, it's tremendous. It's allowed us to do a lot more of the things that we've done with pipelines and fencing and all that sort of thing. Mom probably had one of the first Great Plains contracts, which would be the equivalent to the EQIP now. And then we've had an EQIP since that soil conservation deal, and then we've when it was ASC, we did quite a few things with ASC when they still had a cost share on some dirt tanks and pipelines and stuff like that.
They have incorporated numerous conservation and management practices over the years, and it all started with John's grandfather. He estimated that just an interior fence alone, not including the boundary line fences, more than 100 miles have been installed.
We're really blessed. We have a really good diversity of wildlife here. We've got the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, we've got mule deer, we've got white-tailed deer, turkeys, antelope, bear, and lions. We don't see the lions too often, but we know they're here. They leave a sign. They're here. And the bears come in the fall of the year if we got any fruit in the tree and climb the tree.
Tear the fruit trees.
I walked around the corner here one day, and there was a bear standing right there on that rock wall, and he was just about as scared as I was. I was about to pee my pants, and he was peeing all over his. And the bear took off, and I took off.
We can clearly see why Steve nominated his aunt and uncle for this prestigious award, and now we can see why they won.
My admiration for them is kind of hard to describe. Their dedication to family has been instrumental in where I've evolved into. Their work ethic, their willingness to share everything they have with anybody. Somebody asks them a question, somebody asks for help, and oftentimes they don't have to ask. The help is volunteered, the information is volunteered without even having to be asked. That loyalty to all people is probably what I admire most about her.
With increased pressure to sell prime agricultural land, our final question for John was about the future, his hope for his family and his operation. When asked if there was a future in ranching, he replied,
I hope so. I'd like to see my sons and daughters and nieces and nephews and everybody survive and be as lucky as I have to been able to live here and raise our families here and keep it going. I hope we can.